Hey everyone, I'm Chatting Man Dan, trader and technical analyst for the last 14 plus years. We've got a lot to talk about. Trump coin, Bitcoin all-time highs. We've got the inauguration today. Let's get to the charts and see what the is going on. So we'll get to Trump coin, but I care a whole lot more about Bitcoin, so we'll start there. So weekly, we've got a hold of EMA 12. The weekly bull flag has confirmed. Granted, it's without follow through at this point. Previous all-time high on Coinbase, we'll call it 108.4. We got up to 109.4. So a little bit, but we want more for it to be nice and convincing. A significant amount of volatility yesterday. We ended up pulling back, and a lot of this was related to Trump coin in terms of there was some correlation there. You know, we've been seeing funds essentially leaving the altcoin space, going to Trump coin. It's almost like the market's just inhaling and exhaling with where capital is flowing. But Bitcoin did see a hard drop as Trump coin was dropping hard, and then we found a nice bottom. And if you'll remember in the last video, I was saying, number one, we must confirm a daily uptrend. We do not want to see 50% plus retracement, and the ideal scenario for bulls is for hourly oversold to mark a daily higher low. Now, it was not a back burner setup because we were not in breakout mode, but that doesn't mean that we can't look for that to be a clue of strength when it acts as if it's a back burner. And so that's what we got. Hourly oversold, build a little base of support right around 100,000, and then V-shape back to the highs as the market is looking towards the inauguration and the potential that we get, an executive order on day one for a strategic reserve or whatever may come out of the inauguration. That's essentially what we're looking at now and expecting further volatility today. Stock market is closed for the holiday. Crypto will be churning. So daily higher low set. That's now our most important short-term support level at 99.4 thousand. And of course, all-time high is the resistance level. We have the 4-hour attempting a higher low here. And same deal, just establish as many support levels and continuation moves as we can see to have uptrends on all time frames, ideally. And I want to see 110 plus if I'm going to call it a new, an all-time high with some follow-through. Dominance charts going up on this move. And again, a lot of that has to do with the entire altcoin, not the entire, the majority of the altcoin space selling off to focus on Trump. But weekly equilibrium still playing out. And again, my ideal scenario is Bitcoin all-time high, lead the way on this dominance bounce, set a weekly lower high, and then roll over if we're going to get some alt season. We do not get anything resembling an alt season if the dominance chart keeps weekly higher lows. It must break bear. So just keep that in mind if you are an altcoin trader, because it's a beauty of an equilibrium at this point. NASDAQ, quick check-in. So the falling wedge is what we were watching here as well, similar to what Bitcoin had going. Obviously, Bitcoin's a bit stronger here, but we did break bull to end last week. And if we fail horizontal resistance, which is coming into play, the bulls will then want to pull off an inverse head and shoulders. Again, same deal. We've had a nice bounce off the lows, but we haven't confirmed a daily uptrend yet. And so that has to happen if we're going to have confidence that we can come back to the all-time high test. So keeping an eye out on the broader market there. Trump coin. All right, going to give my opinion, and we'll talk a little bit, and then we'll get just to the charts, because that's essentially how I treat trading. It's, I'll give an initial opinion, and then it's just all I care about is the flashing numbers. And, now more than ever, we realize it's a game of flashing numbers, especially with something like a meme coin. And, for me, regardless of my feelings on Trump, it's clear if you look at him historically, he is about self-enrichment. It's one of the most important things in his life throughout his entire career. Forget the presidency. And so when someone shows you who they are time and time and time again, you believe them. And you know that one of their top priorities in life is self-enrichment for him and his family. And so that's what's going on right now. This is a cash grab, without a doubt. And on the eve of this, anyways, all that said, I've been very impressed with the ability of crypto Twitter. I mean, the crypto Twitter is, I'd say, 90 to 95% negative on this move. And I'm impressed that crypto Twitter is able to put aside, for some people, their prior beliefs about Trump, put aside, their wants and desires for their bags to go up, and to try and view this objectively because I don't see many ways that this can have a positive spin on what is going on right now. But all that said, one of the points I made with my Twitter post is, okay, this is the situation. We are powerless to this situation right now. It is what it is. So move on and get your piece of the pie. And, I know I have a friend who is anti-Trump and just made 800% in 24 hours and had one of the biggest trades of his life, of his trading career, on this coin, because he was able to put aside his emotions, recognize an opportunity, and treat it as flashing numbers. And so that's where we stand. And that is what I suggest for everybody. So just a quick recap of the timeline. Coin launches late at night, Friday night. No word given. Obviously, some people had inside information, like the people buying $1 million in the first couple minutes. But we then saw a significant run. Market cap gets into the many billions and huge gains. Again, 1,000% plus, depending how early you get in, obviously. We had a nice hourly tightening range here that broke bull, and there was 100% plus opportunity from that after the, get your piece of the pie post. So again, you just got to go off the levels, of course. Then we had Melina. Is that Melina? I don't even know how to say her name. I guess that's one positive. I learned how to spell it by making this video. Melina. Anyways, Melina coin drops and everybody goes, oh my God, they're really doing this. And so you get a big dump on Trump coin. We came close to back testing. Some exchanges, the exchanges that you're looking at are going to vary significantly because of the amount of liquidity that's varying on exchanges. Arbitrage bots are going wild. Great opportunity for that kind of trading. But essentially it was a back test and hold of this previous resistance, this previous all-time high, then back test and held it into an extreme dump. And what was going on is Trump was dumping, people were selling Trump, jumping into Melina coin. It's wild. And so many people are just in disbelief, like, how is this real life right now? But it is, so we accept it and move on. Right now on Trump, we're looking for a 4-hour equilibrium. And again, you got to look across multiple exchanges as to what the key support is, because, I was watching it on a decentralized exchange that dropped down to 32. And here on KCEX, we dropped down to 38. So major differences. But bulls need to confirm a 15-minute uptrend back in their favor. Right now we're just looking for a 15-minute lower high. But if we confirm a 15-minute uptrend back to the bulls, that's the first indication of a 4-hour high or low being set. And we've got the inauguration starting in 3 hours. So this is now, just a version. This is this going on, but on the 4-hour time frame instead of the hourly. And so the direction that this tightening range breaks is going to have key implications. If the bulls are able to come out of this still alive, we're looking to 100 psychological just as a round number. But again, for me, it's always, you just got to be extra protective on stuff like this, because I would be embarrassed for myself if I ever had any kind of meaningful loss on something like Trump coin or fart coin or something that clearly has slim to no inherent value. You just can't allow yourself to take a big loss in something like that. So, try and get risk free as soon as you can. And then another thing, when all this was going on, the Sol network was struggling to keep up and, essentially broke for a bit. And so, that's been a part of the narrative as well. So here's Melina coin, quick pump, quick dump. This is it listed on wherever. Honestly, I don't care at all. I didn't make any money from this, and I have zero FOMO, and hats off. I salute all the people that did. Get your piece of the pie. Absolutely. Honestly, I just don't care. I didn't care enough to try and, put funds onto a decentralized exchange to try and get it early. I just don't care enough. Maybe earlier in my career I would have cared, but weekend night, no, I'm not doing it. And I don't care. So happy for everybody that was able to get some gains. I'll look at Trump coin from here on out, but if they keep firing off meme coins for the whole family, no. All right, Sol. So Sol shot up because of this successful launch on the Sol chain and, monthly bull flag. This monthly EMA 12 now, again, the more you hold something and establish it as a nice guide, this is now, long-term, monthly EMA 12 is now your guide. The bulls have full control on the monthly chart if monthly EMA 12 is support. When we lose it, we know something is significantly shifting. So that's a great long-term guide. Weekly, nice huge candle, got continuation. Again, it saw a hard sell-off in response to some of the issues that were going on, but didn't even really get to hourly oversold. We got close, and then it led to a big bounce. But we've got a 4-hour tightening range here as well. So again, I'm just treating this like an equilibrium with our high, all-time high, low, lower high, and now we scout a 4-hour higher low compared to 229. And we're scouting a daily higher low. So overall, nothing unusual with the, it was a big sell-off with significant volatility, but considering how hard we just ran, not too unusual in that regard. So SOL is now, top watch because of its importance in this narrative. We got a new narrative now, and that's what we'll see how long it lasts, but certainly in the short term. And then we saw when Trump coin was dumping and Melina coin was launched and SOL was struggling and there was profit taking in SOL, we then saw Link and ETH get a bump because Link and ETH were going down as money's getting sucked into Trump. And so now Link started to stand out as a lead bull. And we've got a tightening. Again, it's not a picture perfect equilibrium here because we did get a bull break, but you can treat it as an equilibrium because it's certainly very close. And so we'll see if we tighten up on the hourly here before another wave of volatility, perhaps into tonight. But good sign for Link hitting the highest level in a month plus. Again, another name battling and eventually holding weekly EMA 12, and it's going to be all about 30.95 from here. But a nice recovery. There are some 12-hour, I'll go back to Bitcoin in a moment, but there are some 12-hour resistance trend lines to be keeping an eye on, and we can keep an eye on that. Bitcoin had one as well. Remember we were watching from a few videos ago this potential 12-hour megaphone, and we did finally get above. We struggled at it, but finally got above it, and now we're trying to backtest and hold it as support. So again, just a visual guide to keep an eye on. For me, it's the price levels that matter more, but we did break this potential megaphone bullish. But Link trying to stand out as a stronger name, and ETH as well. I mean, ETH still struggling big time. Did get a little bump, but nowhere near the bump that Link got. And we got to confirm a daily uptrend. We've got to set a daily higher low and break 35.27. If we don't, nothing changes. And as we know, ETH BTC has been doing nothing but going down. And we hit new lows, and the weekly downtrend remains our guide as it has been for 7+ months. And nothing changes as long as that remains the case. Fartcoin, just want to show an example of the super stack indicator as a profit-taking signal. So one of the Chart Guys members said the super stack daily was firing on Fartcoin, and they used it to exit half of their position at 234, putting it to the test. So again, I don't like when you're in a significant bull move, and even especially in blue sky breakout, I don't like super stacks as a signal to short. It's not a good short signal, but it is often a good profit-taking signal. So in this example, and again, it didn't nail the top, right? We saw the daily super stack fires in the 230 range, 230, whatever. And we end up, briefly, these spikes are lasting 10 minutes each, but briefly going higher. So again, if you're in a short, if I short at 230, we end up going 15% higher than my entry. That's no good. You're going to get stopped out. But when we zoom out bigger picture, now we've dropped down 20% from that exit point, and we'll see if that ends up following through further. We did just confirm a 4-hour downtrend, so we'll see if daily consolidation shapes up. But again, the super stack indicator tells us we are at extremes on the daily. I mean, the whole way down the list, it was daily, 12-hour, 4-hour, hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute. We're all at extremes. And at this point, all of those RSI levels have cooled off from this consolidation. So, it'll remain to be seen over the next week what we do from here. But again, it's, in the fervor of euphoria, it's nice to have something poke you and say, hey, we are really extreme right now. Might not be a bad idea to take some off the table. All right, we'll see what we get. Utilize those stop losses. I mean, obviously, Bitcoin's stopping people out left and right, but that's why we got to stay a bit more zoomed out, in my opinion. Because, you look at the daily time frame. Were there any fake outs on the daily chart? I mean, obviously, the support break as part of the falling wedge, we were ready for it at that point, but no, I mean, there's daily consolidation. Definitely no fake outs there. Pull back, hold daily EMA 12. Definitely shouldn't be stopping out long with what the daily chart looks like. But you zoom in, and it is definitely, if you're zoomed in, it's easy to get jerked around and stopped out. So I would suggest zooming out a little bit longer time frames to try and avoid that choppy slice and dice. All right. Lots changed in the crypto world the last 48 hours. We'll see how it continues to develop from here. I don't think it's a good thing, but that's just an opinion. And I'm going to keep watching the flashing numbers and trying to get our piece of the pie, no matter how wild it may seem. As always, do good things. Thanks for the likes and the shares, and we'll see you soon.